Sweden, canals to skies, always surprises us. It's a land where modern cities thrive alongside ancient traditions, where crystal-clear lakes reflect endless forests, and where the very sky itself turns into a masterpiece of light. Sweden is not just a destination, it's a feeling, a reminder that some of the world's greatest treasures are found in the harmony between people and nature. Traveling through this remarkable country, you witness more than sights. You experience timeless stories written in stone, in snow, in the glow of lanterns, and the shimmer of auroras. Every place tells a tale, from medieval walls in Visby to the futuristic span of the Öresund bridge. Together, they form a nation that is as diverse as it is beautiful, as humble as it is majestic. As the journey ends, one truth remains. Sweden is a wonder in every season, a destination that touches both the heart and the imagination. Whether you come seeking history, adventure, or peace, you will leave with something far greater, a connection to a land that feels alive in every way. So as the sun sets over the lakes and rises again over the forests, remember that the magic of Sweden is never truly behind you. It stays with you, waiting for the day you return, because some wonders are meant to be experienced more than once. This is Sweden, timeless, breathtaking, unforgettable. A cinematic journey through Sweden's capital with its 14 islands, historic Gamla stan, the royal palace, and vibrant modern culture. Blend tradition with innovation. Imagine a city built on water, where every turn reveals a view more breathtaking than the last. A place where cobblestone alleys whisper centuries of history, and modern glass buildings sparkle against the waves of the Baltic Sea. This is Stockholm, Sweden's capital and jewel, often called the Venice of the North. But here, canals and islands aren't just a backdrop, they shape the very heartbeat of the city. Stockholm is spread across 14 islands, all tied together by more than 50 bridges, giving it a seamless connection between land and sea. It's a city where tradition and innovation stand side by side. As you glide across the shimmering waters, you'll see the ochre-colored walls of medieval houses reflected like paintings, only a few moments away from sleek, futuristic architecture. This blend is what makes Stockholm not just a capital, but a living, breathing story. The heart of it all begins in Gamla stan, the old town. Here, history comes alive in the narrowest streets of Europe, winding past cafes, boutiques, and hidden courtyards. Every stone seems to carry a tale, and when you stand in Stortorget Square, with its colorful houses leaning into each other, you can almost imagine merchants and kings walking here centuries ago. Nearby, the Royal Palace, one of the largest in Europe, towers with grandeur. Its 600 rooms and daily changing of the guards remind you that Stockholm is not just about the past. It's a capital still steeped in living traditions. But what makes Stockholm extraordinary is how effortlessly it shifts from medieval charm to modern brilliance. Step into the Vasa Museum, and you'll find a massive 17th century warship that sank on its maiden voyage, pulled from the sea, and perfectly preserved, a ghost of history staring right back at you. Then, only a short walk away, the futuristic ABBA Museum celebrates Sweden's most famous band, complete with music, glitter, and the kind of energy that draws visitors from all over the world. Few cities can take you from the 1600s to the disco era in less than half an hour, but Stockholm does it with style. And then, there is nature. Stockholm is not just a city of buildings. It is a city of islands, parks, and archipelagos. Imagine hopping on a boat from the city center and, within minutes, finding yourself drifting through the Stockholm archipelago, a scattering of nearly 30,000 islands stretching into the horizon. Some are bustling with small fishing villages, others no more than rocky outcrops where seabirds nest. Here, the city fades, and you are left with the raw beauty of Sweden's coast. Back within the city, nature still plays its part. Stockholm is one of the greenest capitals in the world. Places like Djurgården Island, offer tranquil forests, gardens, and museums all in one place. Locals come here to picnic, walk, and breathe in fresh air, reminding you that in Sweden, city life is never far from nature. Even in the middle of winter, when the snow glistens across rooftops and frozen waterways, Stockholm feels alive. Cozy cafes glow with warm lights, and Christmas markets fill Gamla stan with joy. But Stockholm is not only about what you see, it's about how you feel. It's the aroma of freshly baked cinnamon buns drifting from bakeries in the morning. It's the sound of waves lapping against wooden docks as ferries glide from island to island. It's the sight of locals and travelers alike pausing on bridges just to take in the golden reflection of the sunset. To walk through Stockholm is to experience a city that doesn't need to choose between the past and the future. It is both a medieval wonder and a modern hub, a royal capital and a cultural playground. It's a city that invites you not just to visit, but to live in the moment with it, to slow down, look closer, and let the rhythm of its islands guide your journey. Stockholm is more than Sweden's capital. It is Sweden's story, a story written on cobblestones and bridges, sung in museums and music, carried on the waves of the Baltic, and whispered by the wind in the archipelago. A city of water, light, and endless discovery. So when you think of Sweden, and you wonder where to begin your journey, remember this: Stockholm is not just the beginning, it's the heart, the Venice of the North, the city that floats between dreams and reality. The magical Arctic skies above Abisko National Park explain why this is one of the best places on Earth to see the Aurora Borealis. Adventure, wonder, and awe. Imagine standing under a sky so dark, so clear, that the stars feel close enough to touch. Suddenly, a shimmer of green light dances across the horizon, twisting and curling like ribbons of fire in the heavens. Then purple, pink, and gold spill across the night, painting a canvas no artist could ever capture. This is not a dream. This is Abisko, the gateway to the Northern Lights, one of the most magical wonders, not just of Sweden, but of our planet. Deep in Swedish Lapland, near the Arctic Circle, lies Abisko National Park, a place where the air is crisp, the landscapes untouched, and the skies among the clearest in the world. While many chase the Aurora Borealis across northern latitudes, Abisko has something special: the so-called blue hole. This unique weather phenomenon creates a break in the clouds above Lake Torneträsk, giving Abisko an unusually high chance of clear skies even when surrounding regions are overcast. For Aurora hunters, this means one thing: Abisko is one of the best places on Earth to witness the Northern Lights. As night falls, silence envelops the snow-blanketed land. The only sounds are your own footsteps crunching on the frozen ground and the occasional howl of wind sweeping across the tundra. Then, almost without warning, the first streaks of light appear like ghosts dancing silently above the Arctic wilderness. Locals often describe it as a spiritual experience, a moment when earth and sky connect, when time slows down and the universe feels infinite. But Abisko is not just about the lights above, it's also about the wonders below. By day, the landscape is every bit as breathtaking. Vast valleys carved by ancient glaciers stretch toward jagged mountains. Lake Torneträsk, one of Sweden's largest, lies frozen in winter like a mirror made of glass. Reindeer move gracefully through the snow, their hooves clicking softly, while Sami herders, Sweden's indigenous people, continue traditions passed down for generations. Here, life is deeply connected to nature, and every corner of the land tells a story of survival and harmony. For adventurers, Abisko is paradise. Winter brings endless opportunities. Dog sledding, where huskies pull you through snowy forests with exhilarating speed. Cross-country skiing, along trails that seem to stretch into infinity. And even ice climbing on frozen waterfalls. The famous Abisko Icehotel, just a short journey away in Jukkasjärvi, lets you sleep inside a palace carved entirely of snow and ice, complete with shimmering sculptures and frosty chandeliers. Every year, Artists reshape it anew, meaning no two visits are ever the same. But perhaps the crown jewel of Abisko is the Aurora sky station, perched high above the ground, accessible by a chairlift that carries you into the heart of the Arctic night. As you ascend, the world below fades into shadow, leaving only starlight above. At the top, silence reigns, broken only by gasps of awe as the sky bursts into rivers of color. Scientists may explain the northern lights as charged particles colliding with Earth's atmosphere, but when you stand there in person, it feels like pure magic. And the beauty of Abisko isn't limited to winter. In summer, the sun never sets, bathing the landscape in a golden glow for weeks at a time. Known as the midnight sun, this phenomenon allows endless days of hiking, kayaking, and exploring trails like the Kungsleden, the King's Trail, which stretches for hundreds of kilometers through Lapland's untouched wilderness. Imagine trekking through fields of wildflowers, crossing rivers fed by melting glaciers, with the sun circling overhead, refusing to dip below the horizon. It's as though time itself has been suspended, allowing you to live fully in every moment. Abisko is a reminder of how small we are in the face of nature's grandeur, yet how deeply connected we can feel to the universe. Watching the aurora sweep across the sky isn't just a visual spectacle, it's an emotional journey. People who come here often leave transformed, carrying with them a memory that no photograph or video can truly capture. So when you dream of Sweden, imagine this: a frozen lake under the Arctic stars, a sky alive with swirling colors, and the quiet heartbeat of the earth beneath your feet. Abisko isn't just a destination, it's an encounter with wonder, a conversation with the cosmos, and a reminder that the world still holds mysteries beyond imagination. The Northern Lights are not simply a sight to be seen, they are a story to be lived. And in Abisko, that story comes alive in ways you will never forget. Take viewers inside the world-famous Icehotel, carved fresh every winter from ice and snow. Explore its art, beauty, and surreal atmosphere. Close your eyes and imagine the salty breeze of the North Sea brushing against your face, the sound of seagulls circling above, and the gentle rocking of boats as they sway in a bustling harbor. Now open them to find yourself in Gothenburg, Sweden's charming West Coast jewel, a city where old-world character meets modern creativity, and where the rhythm of life flows with the tides. Unlike Stockholm, which dazzles with grandeur and history, Gothenburg feels intimate and warm, a city built around canals, leafy boulevards, and a harbor that has long been its lifeblood. Founded in the 17th century by King Gustavus Adolphus, Gothenburg was shaped by Dutch engineers who brought with them the art of canal building. Even today, the canals wind through the city like veins, giving it a unique atmosphere that feels part Scandinavian, part European, and wholly Gothenburg. The heart of the city beats strongest along the Göta Älv River, where ferries and ships still glide in and out, connecting Gothenburg to the sea and the world beyond. This maritime heritage is celebrated everywhere, from the imposing Maritimen Museum, home to one of the world's largest floating ship collections, to the iconic Gothenburg Opera House, a striking modern structure that looks like a ship's prow pointing toward the horizon. But Gothenburg is not just a city of the sea, it's a city of people, culture, and food. Walk along Avenyn, the city's grand boulevard, and you'll be swept up in a world of buzzing cafes, elegant boutiques, and theaters where creativity thrives. Gothenburg has long been known as Sweden's cultural underdog, but in recent years, it has blossomed into a powerhouse of music, art, and innovation. The city pulses with festivals from the Gothenburg Film Festival, the largest in Scandinavia, to the Way Out West Music Festival, where global stars and local talent share the stage. And then, there is the food. Gothenburg is a paradise for seafood lovers, thanks to its proximity to the rich fishing waters of the North Sea. At Fiskekorka, the Fish Church, a stunning fish market housed in a building resembling a Gothic cathedral, you'll find glistening displays of shrimp, oysters, lobster, and salmon, fresh from the ocean. Locals will tell you there's nothing like sitting down at a harborside restaurant, cracking open a crayfish, and tasting the sea itself. With Michelin-starred restaurants like Show Magazinet and a rising scene of young, experimental chefs, Gothenburg has rightfully earned its reputation as Sweden's culinary capital. But to truly experience the soul of Gothenburg, you must step outside the city and into the archipelago. Just a short tram and ferry ride from the city center lies a world of windswept islands, rugged cliffs, and fishing villages frozen in time. The southern islands like Sturzo and Vrångö are a car-free, filled with narrow lanes, pastel wooden houses, and the smell of salt air lingering at every turn. The northern archipelago, rougher and wilder, is a haven for kayakers, sailors, and anyone longing for solitude by the sea. Standing on a rocky outcrop as the waves crash below, you feel the untamed spirit of Sweden's west coast in its purest form. For families, Gothenburg offers delights of a different kind. Liseberg, one of Europe's most beloved amusement parks, sits right in the city and has been bringing joy for over a century. With its thrilling roller coasters, magical gardens, and spectacular light displays during winter, it captures the childlike wonder in everyone. Yet even in moments of excitement, Gothenburg maintains its balance. It's a city that never overwhelms, but instead embraces you with a quiet charm. Seasons paint Gothenburg in ever-changing hues. In summer, the city basks in long golden evenings, when locals spill into outdoor cafes and the archipelago glows under the midnight Sunday. In autumn, fiery leaves transform the parks into a painter's dream. Winter brings snow-dusted rooftops and festive Christmas markets where the scent of mulled wine fills the air. And in spring, the city blooms anew, with cherry blossoms bursting into life along the canals. What makes Gothenburg so unforgettable is not just its beauty, but its soul. It's in the warmth of the locals, known for their friendliness and humor. It's in the contrast between the old shipyards and the modern tech startups now rising along the harbor. It's in the taste of fresh shrimp eaten on a pier, the laughter of children at Liseberg, and the silence of a sunset watched from a lonely island. Gothenburg may not shout as loudly as some of Europe's other cities, but it doesn't need to. Its magic lies in its quiet confidence, its ability to offer you both the thrill of discovery and the comfort of home. It's a city where every corner whispers a story, and every wave that rolls into the harbor carries with it centuries of history and dreams of the sea. So when you think of Sweden, don't just think of Stockholm's grandeur or Lapland's wilderness. Think of Gothenburg, the city by the sea, the city of canals and culture, the city that welcomes you not with pomp, but with open arms. Highlight canals, seafood markets, the archipelago, and vibrant cultural scene of Gothenburg. Contrast its charm with Stockholm's big city vibe. Imagine standing at the edge of a cobblestone square, where history seems to echo in every stone, and yet just beyond, a sleek tram glides silently past glass-fronted towers. This is Stockholm, the beating heart of Sweden, a city that blends the past and future with effortless grace. Known as the Venice of the North, Stockholm is built across 14 islands, connected by more than 50 bridges, where shimmering waterways meet elegant architecture and tradition meets innovation. The first impression of Stockholm is its setting. The city rises where Lake Mälaren flows into the Baltic Sea, a place where freshwater meets salt, where urban life coexists with nature in perfect harmony. Water sparkles everywhere between the islands, along canals, and even in the reflections of historic facades. Whether you arrive by boat, train, or air, Stockholm greets you with views so cinematic they feel like stepping into a postcard. The journey through Stockholm begins in Gamla Stan, the old town. This medieval heart is one of the best preserved historic centers in Europe, with winding alleyways, ochre-colored houses, and hidden courtyards. Walking through Gamla Stan feels like stepping back centuries, when merchants, nobles, and kings once roamed these streets. At the center stands Stortorget, the oldest square in Stockholm, where colorful gabled houses and hidden courtyards Walking through Gamla stan feels like stepping back centuries, when merchants, nobles, and kings once roamed these streets. At the center stands Stortorget, the oldest square in Stockholm, where colorful gabled houses line the cobbles and cafes spill out with the scent of coffee and cinnamon buns. Just nearby towers the Royal Palace, one of the largest palaces in the world, where you can watch the changing of the guard or wander through opulent halls filled with art and history. From Gamla stan, the city branches out in different directions, each with its own identity. On the island of Södermalm, once a working-class district, creativity thrives today. It's the bohemian soul of Stockholm, with vintage shops, independent cafes, and breathtaking viewpoints like Monteliusvägen, where the city unfolds beneath you in panoramic splendor. On Östermalm, elegance and luxury reign, with fine dining, designer boutiques, and tree-lined avenues that echo with sophistication. Meanwhile, Djurgården offers a world of culture and leisure, home to some of Sweden's most beloved museums and attractions. On Djurgården, history and entertainment collide. The Vasa Museum tells the story of a 17th century warship that sank on its maiden voyage and was raised from the depths centuries later, perfectly preserved. Nearby, Skansen, the world's first open-air museum, brings Swedish history and traditions to life with historic buildings, folk dancing, and Nordic wildlife. Families are drawn to Gröna Lund, the amusement park by the water, while music lovers flock to ABBA the museum, celebrating Sweden's most iconic pop group. Djurgården is a microcosm of Stockholm itself, a blend of history, culture, fun, and innovation. But Stockholm is more than its museums and historic streets. It is a city deeply connected to nature. Within minutes, you can leave the bustle behind and find yourself in vast green parks, tranquil waters, or even the nearby Stockholm archipelago, a scattering of over 30,000 islands stretching into the Baltic Sea. This archipelago is a paradise for kayakers, sailors, and dreamers alike, where rocky islets and pine-clad islands create an ever-changing horizon. Many locals escape to summer cottages here, where life slows to the rhythm of the waves and sunsets seem to last forever. Culinary culture is another of Stockholm's treasures. The city is a rising star on the global food stage, with Michelin-starred restaurants standing alongside cozy cafes, serving traditional fika, the beloved Swedish ritual of coffee and pastries shared with friends. At markets like Östermalm Saluhall, you'll find everything from smoked salmon to reindeer delicacies, blending old flavors with new culinary trends. The rhythm of the city changes with the seasons. In summer, long days and golden evenings turn Stockholm into a playground of festivals, outdoor dining, and sun-dappled strolls along the waterfront. In winter, snow blankets, the rooftops, Christmas markets glow with lights, and ice glitters on the waterways, transforming the city into a Nordic fairy tale. Spring brings cherry blossoms in Kungsträdgården, while autumn paints the city in warm, fiery hues. Every season reveals a different face of Stockholm, each as captivating as the last. Yet, perhaps the greatest wonder of Stockholm lies in its spirit. It is a city that feels alive, constantly reinventing itself while remaining grounded in history. It is modern, progressive, and innovative, yet also intimate, with neighborhoods that feel like small communities. Whether you are gazing at centuries-old cathedrals, taking a ferry to a quiet island, or sipping coffee in a trendy cafe, Stockholm invites you to slow down, look deeper, and feel its heartbeat. For travelers, Stockholm is not just a destination, it's an experience, a place where every bridge connects not just islands, but eras, ideas, and people. It's a reminder that beauty can exist where old and new meet, where the natural and the urban intertwine, and where a city can be both grand and personal at once. Stockholm is more than Sweden's capital. It is the capital of dreams, of stories, of the Scandinavian way of life. And as the sun sets over its glittering waterways, painting the city in shades of gold and rose, you realize that Stockholm isn't just a place to visit, it's a place to feel, to remember, and to carry with you long after you've left. Introduce the wild north with reindeer, Sami culture, endless summer days, and pristine Arctic wilderness. Imagine a land where the sun never sets in summer, where reindeer wander freely across endless tundra, and where the night sky bursts into ribbons of green and purple light during winter. Welcome to Swedish Lapland, one of the most magical and remote corners of Europe, a place that feels less like Earth and more like another world. This is where the raw beauty of nature meets ancient traditions, where silence speaks louder than words, and where every season offers a new kind of wonder. Lapland covers almost a quarter of Sweden's total area, stretching above the Arctic Circle. Here, landscapes unfold in vast expanses, snow-capped mountains, frozen lakes, deep forests, and wild rivers. It is a land of extremes, endless daylight in summer, endless night in winter, and a climate that challenges the body but rewards the spirit. For travelers, it is both an escape and an adventure, a chance to connect with nature in its purest, most untouched form. One of the most iconic experiences in Lapland is witnessing the Northern Lights, or Aurora Borealis. On clear winter nights, the sky comes alive with waves of color that dance and shimmer above the snowy wilderness. No photograph can capture the true feeling of standing under this celestial performance, as if the universe itself is painting across the heavens just for you. The best chances to see the lights are between September and March, when the nights are long and the skies are dark. Many visitors journey to towns like Abisko, world famous for its clear skies, or venture deeper into the wilderness by snowmobile or husky sled to escape light pollution and watch the auroras in silence. In contrast, summer in Lapland is the season of the midnight Sunday. For weeks, the sun never fully sets, casting a golden glow across mountains, forests, and rivers at all hours of the night. The long days bring life to the land. Wildflowers bloom, rivers rush with melted snow, and wildlife emerges in abundance. It is a time of festivals, outdoor adventures, and a surreal kind of beauty where time itself seems to stand still. The culture of Lapland is inseparable from the Sami people, the indigenous inhabitants of the Arctic. For thousands of years, they have lived in harmony with this harsh but beautiful land, herding reindeer, fishing, and practicing traditions deeply rooted in nature. Visiting Lapland offers the chance to learn about Sami culture, listening to the hauntingly beautiful joik singing, tasting traditional dishes like smoked reindeer or Arctic char, and hearing stories passed down through generations. To sit inside a lavu, the Sami tent, with a warm fire crackling as snow falls outside, is to glimpse a way of life that has endured despite time and change. For adventurers, Lapland is a paradise. In winter, activities like dog sledding, snowmobiling, ice fishing, and cross-country skiing immerse you in the snowy wilderness. Riding a sled pulled by eager huskies across frozen lakes is an unforgettable thrill, where the only sounds are paws hitting snow and the wind in your ears. Snowshoe hikes reveal untouched landscapes, where animal tracks lead you deeper into forests that feel enchanted. And then, of course, there are the Icehotel, perhaps the most unique accommodations in the world. The famous Icehotel in Jukkasjärvi is rebuilt each year from ice blocks cut from the nearby river, with walls, furniture, and even glasses sculpted entirely from ice. Spending a night there wrapped in reindeer hides is an adventure like no other. In summer, the frozen landscapes transform into lush green wilderness, inviting hiking, fishing, canoeing, and wildlife watching. The Kungsleden, or King's Trail, is one of Europe's greatest long-distance hikes, winding through mountains, valleys, and national parks like Sarek and Abisko, where glaciers and alpine peaks dominate the horizon. It's a trail that connects you deeply to the rhythm of the land, where each step brings solitude and breathtaking beauty. Lapland is also home to unique wildlife. Besides reindeer, you may spot moose, Arctic foxes, and even golden eagles soaring above. The rivers and lakes teem with fish, while the forests hide countless species of birds. In autumn, when the trees blaze with fiery reds and oranges, the land becomes a painter's dream, and the crisp air invites long walks and quiet reflection. What makes Swedish Lapland truly special, however, is not just the landscapes or the activities, but the feeling it leaves in your heart. It is a place where you disconnect from the chaos of the modern world and reconnect with nature, with silence, and with yourself. The vastness of the wilderness makes you feel small, but in a way that is humbling and inspiring. Here, under the northern lights or beneath the never-setting sun, you realize that life's most powerful moments are often the simplest: watching snow fall, listening to reindeer bells, or gazing at a sky painted in colors you never thought possible. For those who seek wonder, adventure, and peace all at once, Swedish Lapland is not just a destination, it is an awakening. It reminds you that the world still holds places untouched by time, where nature rules and humanity must adapt. And once you've felt the magic of Lapland, it stays with you forever, like a light that never fades. Showcase cobblestone streets, medieval walls, and seaside landscapes of Gotland. Blend history, legends, and nature. What if I told you that some of the most breathtaking sunsets in all of Europe can be found not on a Mediterranean beach, but along Sweden's rugged west coast? Here, the sea stretches endlessly toward the horizon. The sky is painted in brilliant hues of orange and pink, and tiny fishing villages dot the shore like jewels left behind by time. Welcome to Gothenburg and Sweden's west coast, a maritime paradise where nature, culture, and coastal charm come together in a way that feels both peaceful and adventurous. Gothenburg, Sweden's second-largest city, is often called the gateway to the west coast. While Stockholm may be glamorous and cosmopolitan, Gothenburg offers something different: a relaxed, creative, and welcoming spirit that immediately makes visitors feel at home. Stroll along its leafy boulevards, and you'll discover cozy cafes, canals that recall Amsterdam, and a thriving cultural scene. The city is famous for its innovative food culture, with seafood taking center stage. Oysters, mussels, shrimp, and lobster are caught fresh from the icy waters just off the coast, and dining on them here is not just a meal, it's an experience. The heart of Gothenburg beats strongest in its harbor, where the city's identity as a maritime hub comes to life. The Maritime Museum, housed in a fleet of historic ships, lets you step aboard submarines and warships, experiencing firsthand the naval heritage of this proud port city. From here, ferries whisk you out into the southern archipelago, a stunning collection of islands that are completely car-free. Imagine hopping from island to island, walking through charming villages, cycling along quiet paths, or simply watching the sea crash against granite cliffs. It's a place where time slows down, where nature and community still define daily life. But the magic of Sweden's west coast extends far beyond the city. Stretching north toward the border with Norway lies a coastline unlike any other. This is the Bohuslän region, often described as one of the most beautiful archipelagos in the world. Its granite cliffs, carved over 920 million years ago, create a dramatic landscape of pink and gray stone that plunges into crystal clear waters. Scattered across this wild beauty are small fishing villages like Smogen, Fjällbacka, and Lysekil, each with colorful wooden houses lined up along the water's edge, reflecting in the sea like paintings come to life. Smogen is famous for its long wooden boardwalk, where visitors stroll past fishing boats, seafood restaurants, and boutiques while soaking in the salty air. Fjällbacka, meanwhile, is known for its dramatic cliffs and as the beloved home of author Camilla Läckberg, whose crime novels are set here. Above the town towers the Kungskliften Gorge, a natural wonder where massive boulders are wedged between towering cliffs. From its heights, the panoramic view of the archipelago is unforgettable. This coastline is also a playground for outdoor adventurers. The calm, clear waters are perfect for kayaking, allowing you to weave between rocky islets and perhaps even spot seals basking on the rocks. Fishing trips take you out into the open sea, while diving reveals an underwater world rich with marine life. For hikers, trails wind along the coast and through forests, offering views that constantly shift with the light of the sea. And then there's the food. The west coast of Sweden is a dream for seafood lovers, often described as the seafood capital of Europe. Lobster safaris let you join local fishermen as they haul in their traps, followed by feasts where the day's catch is prepared in the freshest possible way. Mussel cruises take you to farms in the open sea, where you'll learn about cultivation before enjoying a steaming pot of mussels flavored with garlic and white wine. Oysters harvested in these waters are considered some of the finest in the world. Their salty taste, a direct reflection of the pure, cold seas. Dining here is not just about taste, it's about connection to the land, the water, and the traditions of those who have lived off the sea for generations. Yet the West Coast is not only about nature and food, it's also about art and culture. The region's light, with its soft, northern glow, has long attracted painters and photographers. In summer, small art galleries open their doors in fishing villages, showcasing works inspired by the sea and landscapes. Local festivals celebrate everything from seafood to sailing, bringing communities together in a way that feels timeless and authentic. One of the most enchanting experiences along the coast happens at the end of the day. As the sun begins to dip below the horizon, the sea turns golden, the granite cliffs blush with warm light, and the sky becomes a masterpiece of shifting colors. Watching a West Coast sunset is more than a moment, it's a memory, the kind that lingers long after you leave. What makes Gothenburg and the West Coast so special is the perfect balance between the wild and the welcoming. The rugged cliffs and open sea bring awe and adventure, while the cozy villages and warm people offer comfort and charm. It is a place that invites you to slow down, breathe deeply, and let the rhythm of the ocean guide your journey. Whether you come for the food, the landscapes, the culture, or simply the peace of being by the sea, the west coast of Sweden delivers something unforgettable. It is a reminder that some of the world's greatest wonders are not always the loudest or the most obvious. They are found in quiet harbors, in the taste of fresh seafood, in the sound of waves against granite, and in sunsets that make the entire sky glow. Bring to life the untouched wilderness of Sweden, from endless forests and mirror-like lakes to Nat imagine standing at the edge of a still, glassy lake, where the sky reflects so perfectly on the water that it feels as though you're suspended between two worlds. A gentle mist rises as the morning sun begins to warm the forest, and the only sounds are the call of a loon and the rustle of pine trees swaying in the breeze. This is the Lake District of Sweden, a place of breathtaking serenity where time slows down and nature whispers its ancient secrets. While Sweden is famous for its cities and coasts, its heart beats strongest in the vast network of lakes that shape its interior. There are more than 95,000 lakes across Sweden, each with its own unique character, but together they create a landscape that feels almost otherworldly. Here, water is not just a feature, it is a way of life, woven into traditions, recreation, and spirituality. One of the most iconic is Lake Vänern, the largest lake not only in Sweden but in the entire European Union. Covering an area larger than some countries, Vänern is often called an inland sea. Its shores are lined with sandy beaches, fishing villages, and ancient fortresses, offering endless opportunities for exploration. Fishermen still head out onto its waters in search of salmon and pike, while sailors navigate its open expanses as if they were on the ocean itself. The medieval Lecco Castle, perched dramatically on a peninsula, adds a fairy tale touch, its white towers reflecting in the lake's waters like something from a storybook. Nearby lies Lake Vänern, long and narrow, stretching like a gleaming ribbon through the Swedish countryside. Its waters are said to be some of the clearest in the world, so pure that they are drinkable straight from the lake. Towns like Gränna, famous for its red and white candy sticks called polka greiser, line its shores, while ancient monasteries and fortresses overlook the water. For many Swedes, Vättern is a symbol of purity and peace, a place to retreat from the rush of daily life. But perhaps the most magical lake of all is Lake Siljan, located in the Dalarna region, often referred to as the soul of Sweden. Unlike other lakes, Siljan was formed by a meteor impact over 360 million years ago, leaving behind a circular basin that glows with beauty and history. Surrounding the lake are traditional red-painted cottages, wildflower meadows, and forests that seem straight from a folk tale. During midsummer, Siljan becomes the heart of celebrations, with maypoles rising, people dressed in traditional costumes, and music filling the air. It's a reminder that lakes in Sweden are not just about landscapes, they are deeply tied to culture, identity, and heritage. Life in the Lake District is shaped by the rhythm of the seasons. In summer, families head to their stugas, the beloved Swedish summer cottages often located right on the lake shore. Days are spent swimming in the cool water, paddling kayaks, or fishing from small wooden boats. Evenings are for gathering around campfires, grilling freshly caught fish, and watching the sun dip slowly toward the horizon, barely setting at all during the long northern days. In autumn, the forests surrounding the lakes burst into color, creating a painter's palette of reds, golds, and oranges reflected in the water. It is a season of quiet hikes, berry picking, and cozy evenings, as mist rolls over the surface of the lakes and the air turns crisp. Winter transforms the Lake District into a wonderland of ice and snow. Lakes freeze solid, becoming natural skating rinks where people glide for miles across sparkling white surfaces. Cross-country skiers trace paths through snow-laden forests, while ice fishing huts dot the frozen lakes, their little plumes of smoke rising against the pale sky. The stillness of winter on a Swedish lake is profound, a silence that feels sacred, broken only by the cracking of ice or the whisper of skis. And then comes spring, when life awakens once more. Melting ice reveals shimmering blue waters, birds return in flocks, and wildflowers bloom along the shores. It's a season of renewal, a reminder of the eternal cycle that governs life in harmony with nature. The Lake District is not only about beauty, it also holds a sense of timelessness. The Sami people of the north and ancient settlers of the south alike have lived in connection with these waters for centuries, fishing, trading, and finding spiritual meaning in the vast blue expanses. Even today, the concept of friluftsliv, or open-air life, guides Swedes to seek health, joy, and peace in these natural sanctuaries. Perhaps what makes Sweden's Lake District so enchanting is its ability to make you feel small, yet deeply connected. Standing by the shore of a vast, silent lake, you can't help but reflect on your place in the world. The water mirrors not only the landscape, but also your own thoughts, encouraging stillness, mindfulness, and gratitude. It is in these lakes that you discover the real wonder of Sweden, not just in its mountains or cities, but in the quiet beauty of water and sky, in traditions passed down for generations, and in moments of peace that remind us how extraordinary simplicity can be. Shuno parks, rich with wildlife. Explore Malmö's modern skyline, multicultural vibe, and the engineering wonder of the bridge connecting Sweden to Denmark. Picture a land where the sun refuses to set, painting the sky in golden light for days on end, and where, in winter, the heavens come alive with glowing curtains of green, purple, and red. This is Swedish Lapland, the country's northernmost treasure, a place where nature reigns supreme and life is guided by the rhythm of the Arctic. If you've ever dreamed of witnessing the raw magic of the earth, this is where that dream becomes reality. Lapland is more than just a destination, it is an experience, a journey into extremes, where the seasons transform the land so completely that visiting once never feels enough. In the summer months, Lapland is bathed in the midnight sun, a phenomenon that keeps daylight stretching endlessly across the horizon. Imagine standing on the shore of a lake at midnight, with the sun still glowing softly above the trees, casting a surreal golden light that never fades. Days here feel infinite, offering boundless time to hike through pristine forests, paddle across crystal-clear rivers, or climb mountains that reward you with views stretching into Norway and Finland. But when winter comes, Lapland transforms into something out of a dream. The sun disappears for weeks during the polar night, and in its absence, the sky puts on the most spectacular show on Earth, the Aurora Borealis, or Northern Lights. Waves of emerald green ripple across the heavens, sometimes tinged with violet or crimson, dancing and shifting like living fire. Standing in silence beneath the Arctic sky as the aurora blazes overhead is a humbling, almost spiritual experience, one that feels as though the universe itself is speaking to you. Beyond its natural wonders, Lapland is deeply tied to culture and tradition. This is the homeland of the Sami people, Europe's only recognized indigenous population. For centuries, the Sami have lived in harmony with the Arctic, herding reindeer across vast snowy plains, fishing in icy rivers, and passing down stories that explain the mysteries of nature. Visitors can learn from their traditions, from sampling smoked reindeer meat cooked over open flames to hearing joik, the haunting traditional Sami style of singing that connects people to their land and ancestors. Adventure seekers will find Lapland irresistible. The region offers some of the most thrilling Arctic activities imaginable. Dog sledding across frozen wilderness, snowmobiling through endless tundra, or skiing on slopes where the crisp air and silence are unmatched. Ice fishing, too, is not just a pastime but a ritual, where patience and tranquility come together on frozen lakes. And perhaps the most unique experience of all, the chance to stay in the world-famous Icehotel in Jukkasjärvi, where even the beds are carved from ice, and every year brings a new design, turning the hotel into a living art installation of frozen beauty. In summer, the land is alive with energy. Rivers roar with snowmelt, waterfalls thunder through valleys, and the forests become playgrounds for moose, foxes, and birds. Hiking trails wind through landscapes untouched by time, offering encounters with wildflowers, pristine lakes, and towering mountains. Canoeing and kayaking in these northern waters feel like gliding through pure wilderness, far removed from the noise of modern life. Yeah, perhaps the greatest gift Lapland offers is silence. Not the empty silence of nothingness, but a profound stillness filled with meaning, the hush of snow falling in the forest, the quiet crunch of boots on a frozen trail, the gentle jingling of reindeer harnesses in the night. In this silence, you hear yourself more clearly, and you feel the deep connection between people and the natural world. Lapland also teaches us about resilience. Life here is not easy, with long, harsh winters and short summers. Yet the people and wildlife thrive. Reindeer migrate vast distances, Arctic foxes endure freezing winds, and communities adapt to the constant shifts in light and darkness. It is a land that embodies balance, where every struggle is met with beauty, and every challenge reveals strength. For travelers, Lapland is both a destination and a reminder that the most extraordinary wonders often exist far from the crowds, in places where nature still speaks in its purest voice. Whether it's watching the sun at midnight, or the northern sky ablaze with auroras, Lapland gives you moments that stay etched in your memory forever. To journey here is to step into a world where time moves differently, where day and night lose their meaning, and where the earth reminds us of its incredible power and beauty. Lapland is not just the end of Sweden, it is the very edge of wonder. Thanks for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed exploring Prague as much as I enjoyed guiding you through it. If you found this travel guide helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more beautiful destinations from around the world. Got a favorite spot in Prague? Drop it in the comments, I'd love to hear from you. Until next time, safe travels and see you in the next video.